Guys, what's good? Today we're going to do something a little different. It says these methods were insanely cruel. Let's go ahead and hop into this. I'll have the link down in the description. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Luckily I did get my camera working again once again. Every time it seems like, as long as I put my cell phone up there to get ready to start recording with it, this camera then decides to work out of the blue. So I guess I have to keep doing that, guys.
So you really clicked this video, huh? Alright, here's some cruel execution methods.
I'm gonna turn it up, so.
Ever have like a hot burrito or something, and you take a bite and you're like, ow, this is hot. Well, imagine that, but many magnitudes worse. And even that wouldn't even begin to describe the agony of having molten metal poured down your throat. Created out of ironic symbolism, this method of execution was reserved for those who truly needed to swallow their pride. Take, for example, the wealthy Roman commander Manius Achilles. His papa, also named Manius, was a ruthless and greedy governor that forced harsh taxes on the general public. Well, like father, like son, said the people, fully expecting Manius Jr. to become a greedy butthole himself. That's one heck of an assumption to make, but condemning people to death for fun was kind of the thing to do in ancient Rome. After suffering defeat...
Can you guys imagine that? Like, that was the fun thing. That was what they were so used to. One, I guess you got to kill animals and stuff to eat. But you're watching other people just be killed in many different ways. I mean, it was brutal, some of them.
Defeat at the hands of Anatolian ruler Mithridates the Great during the First Mithridatic War in the year 89 BC, Manius was captured and eventually executed. When picking a suitable method to send Manius into the Great Bed Bath & Beyond, he really decided to go for the gold. Yeah, he just dumped melted metal down Manius's food hole as a testament to his greed and thirst for power.
Did I miss it? Because who was it that chose it? Was it the guy that died, decided to go out that way, or was it the guy doing it to him?
So what the heck does ingesting molten metal do to the human body?
It'd be
Not
burning.
good things. Not good things at all. Molten gold sits at around 1,000 degrees Celsius, so the instant that the metal contacts the flesh...
And Celsius, like a lower number, like say 50 degrees Celsius would be like, for instance, 100 degrees Fahrenheit. That's how it is. So if it's 1,000 degrees Celsius, it's well over 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Right.
Flesh, it will instantly vaporize any inherent moisture into steam. In doing so, the metal will cool and harden, essentially creating a big metal plug in your throat, causing suffocation. Now,
and the gagging sound didn't help. Never mind, my brain was in the gutter, and it was just the way it was explained that cracked me up.
Here's a science lesson for you today. Science lesson! When liquids evaporate to a gas, they expand very quickly. Rapid expansion in a closed system, like say your body, creates severe pressure. Ooh. Considering that your internal organs are not built for said extreme pressures,
just say you could withstand it. Just say you could. And gold is the heaviest, one of the heavier metals anyway. I don't know if it's the heaviest, but oh yeah, that would suck.
You can probably see where this causes a problem, but don't worry, it sorts itself out rather quickly because your organs rupture.
Oh.
The good news is that you'd probably pass out and die before you even get to the point of having your internals turn into a
That's what I was thinking. Just the sheer over 1,000 degrees Celsius hitting the roof of your mouth, you would almost think it would just immediately send your body to shock. You basically pass out almost immediately, just straight from the pain, and then it probably melts through everything and gets to your brain. And I don't even know if you would, I mean, you got to think, 1,000 degrees Celsius, your throat's only lining. It's not like a stainless steel tube or something for it to just run down. So even if your throat was open, it's going to burn through the back of your neck, you would think. But then again, I have no clue. People that didn't know.
4th of July display.
Immurement.
Immurement is just a fancy word for live entombment, which is pretty self-explanatory.
No.
It's one of those punishments that introverts would be like, oh, hell yeah, dude, until they realize that they can't go downstairs to get more Doritos, and that they're just probably gonna die in there. And if you've ever played Minecraft with your buddies, you probably experienced immurement firsthand when you came back to your room after mommy gave you your Ritalin. The practice was, unsurprisingly,
They love cracking on, dragging people's moms into it. Like so many times I hear your mama got your Game Boy on at night and ready for you, or your mama gives you your Ritalin.
mainly performed in the Roman Empire, but it has been seen in other areas like ancient Persia or Mongolia. Man, who do they put in charge of coming up with all these execution ideas?
I love my job.
This signature send-off method was usually reserved for virgin priestesses who were found guilty of breaking their chastity vows by getting on their knees and praying on some dong. However, there is historical evidence to suggest that it was used in other ways too, like mass entombment for prisoners of war, a punishment for thieves, or even just silly self-sacrificing fellers who voluntarily walled themselves in for religious purposes.
Yeah, that's the monks. Who was it? I had watched something to where whenever, like, if you pull they have a rope going down and you can ring a bell or something. Oh, I think that's a bell in his hand. But anyhow, and if there's no bacteria or no, like, I don't know how to explain it. It's when you die, you decompose. No decomposition or something, then you made it to where they want to be.
Or just because they don't like people.
Yeah, fuck off.
So yeah, all those poor unfortunate souls would be sealed in a room no bigger than a New York apartment, while the lucky ones were placed in something a little bit more reasonable.
Dude, is that really an apartment, or is that a room turned into an apartment? I mean, I heard that New York apartments are small. I've never been to New York. I got as high as Maryland. I went all the way from here in North Carolina to Las Vegas, and I went I-40 there and come back through Colorado, Kansas, Missouri, all that, Tennessee.
Being completely sealed in means there's no light, no sound, or fresh air. So don't Dutch oven yourself.
Damn it!
Being isolated, you're just left to lose your goddamn mind in complete darkness and silence as your body wastes away from starvation and dehydration. Unless, of course, you accidentally trip over a rock and whack your melon on the stone wall. Trees are pretty useful. They convert
The Widowmaker, otherwise Death by Tree. Ooh, I know, but that is bamboo, unless you consider that a tree, which it technically is. But no, I know where they used to strap people down in Japan that were caught in World War II and have the bamboo shoots grow up through your stomach, chest, everything.
convert carbon dioxide into oxygen, can be used for building materials, and can even help you execute your enemies. Oh, you didn't know that last one? Well, let me explain. Sure, you could convert your enemies to a cool wind chime on a tree, but why not go all out? That's what Roman Emperor Aurelian thought, at least. Being emperor and all, Aurelian was a bit of a control freak. He demanded only the finest behavior from his numerous army soldiers. That being the case, any thoughts of drinking, gambling, stealing, pillaging, and, all the stuff soldiers typically did were tossed out the window.
Wow.
Every man was expected to be in tip-top shape with their armor polished and their weapons sharp at a moment's notice. So it was just
Which is all great, but when it comes down to it, your shield being shiny isn't going to stop, something if you're not ready for it. I mean, just because it's shiny and clean and you took care of it, if you don't know how to use it, you're kind of screwed. It's just another paperweight.
It's an army of a bunch of lame straight-edge dorks. Bit of a buzzkill, right? Those who refused to follow such protocols were setting themselves up for some severe punishment, and not even the kind that some people would find fun. Except this guy. For example, one soldier decided to have a fellow soldier's wife polish his spear in private. But the spear was his wiener, and in Aurelian...
I was just sitting here like, wow, really? And then he went into it, and it's like, oh, okay.
To all-seeing perverted eyes, that's a big no-no, and now he had to make a choice. How was he going to make an example of this man to his fellow soldiers? Well, any good leader is resourceful, so why not harness the power of Mother Nature to do the trick? Oh look, 2 trees.
Sorry, my cat has the zoomies. He's darting all over the house.
What are you gonna do with those? Tie me to each one and have them rip me apart? That is what he's gonna do.
As a reasonable punishment,
Dude, tell me that wouldn't be a shitty way to have to die. And the thing is, I thought, well, it depends on what kind of tree. I was going to say, don't they normally start snapping and breaking? But then there's like, what is it, gum tree or something like that? There's one of them that, dude, you cannot split it with an axe. Like, you might as well hang that one up because it's like rubber. It just donk and sticks into the damn stump. So, I'm assuming if it's a tree with that type of quality, I guess you can bend it and bring it together. And then I guess they cut the ropes. I don't know.
punishment, the soldier had his limbs strapped to 2 young trees, which were forced into a bent, crossed position. Once released, the spry, springy saplings did a solid conversion of potential energy to kinetic energy, ripping the soldier in two and giving visual confirmation that a lesson had been learned.
Well, I guess at least he got his spear polished before all that happened. I don't think it was worth it. No, sir. Ain't no spear polishing worth that right there. No, sir.
Hey, what's cooking? Oh, it's me. Well,
No.
I must have been a bad boy, because getting boiled alive was generally reserved for those who were guilty of murder. But the only thing I'm guilty of is killing some brewskis, am I right, fellas? Okay. Used in medieval Europe as far back as 1392, boiling alive was the choice punishment for other crimes as well. Treason, forgery, counterfeiting, thievery.
Joe Biden and a whole bunch of his staff would be in a huge pot right now if that was the case that it should still be, because treason is one of the worst things you can do, and they sold this country down the river. But let's get off politics. Don't want to go down that road.
Grape without the G, swindling, you name it. Even the Japanese were on the hot topic of boiling their criminals. Legendary thief and Robin Hood equivalent Ishikawa Goemon was boiled alive with his son in 1594 after they tried to assassinate a warlord. I mean, what did you think would happen? Even though it's pretty straightforward, humans have found different ways.
But it was a warlord. I guess he was on the Emperor's side.
Ways to make boiling someone alive more entertaining. For instance, what liquid is being used? Water's great and all, but that's as
Don't tell me it's going to be something that's hard to get boiling, but once it is, it's insanely hot.
boring as it gets. So instead, use something with a little more oomph, like oil or tar. Now here's another
Tar.
quick science lesson. Another science lesson!
Oh, that was
Water,
suck,
as I'm
guys.
sure you know, boils at 100 degrees Celsius. Sorry, fellow Americans, we're working with metric today, but you'll still get the point.
I was wondering why you're going with Celsius today.
Once a liquid reaches a boiling point, the liquid cannot physically get any hotter in normal atmospheric conditions, so it vaporizes to a gas. So, in a sense, you hit a limit of pain able to be inflicted on your victim. No need to.
But if you just kept it on, I mean, you can't stay in that temperature forever. Yes, the pain, I'm sure the pain actually does increase because your skin becomes more sensitive and everything. So you would think that would still eventually kill them, and it would actually take longer because it's turning to steam. So that would just be a long, drawn-out way of dying. You would think.
Need to worry though, because you can always upgrade your cauldron juice. You see, oil has an average boiling point of 200 degrees Celsius, and tar can get up to 500 degrees. And when it's that hot, you'll easily be able to melt skin right off your victim like some tender baby back ribs from Chili's.
How many times did they let the tar cool down and it start kind of hardening up? And, oh, that would suck, dude. Oh, that would suck.
Another way you can get creative is how you want to boil your prisoner. Want to just huck them in, slowly lower them? Or how about you just have them sit in there as it heats up? You know, there's definitely a small window in there where it actually feels nice for a bit, then the boiling happens. And that can get pretty hard to watch. Hey, do you think we should...
Hold up. Let him cook.
Now here's where we get down to the real gruesome stuff. But this time, the
I was going to say blood eagle. That doesn't sound good. I have no clue what it is, but it doesn't sound good.
Romans are left to the wayside. Now, we swing our attention to the Norse. You know, like the Vikings.
I was going to say
They're
Viking.
pretty tame people, right? Right. From around the year 800 to 1100 in northern Europe, the Vikings were adamant explorers that would often pick fights with people that they thought they could conquer, which was pretty much everyone, even themselves. They raided and pillaged and plundered in the name of their many gods under the polytheistic Old Norse paganism. Although a relatively barbaric and fierce warrior people, the Vikings did have laws to abide by. Insults and petty crimes were punishable by humiliations like public tarring and feathering, but the heavier the crime, the heavier the punishment. Cheat on your spouse? Lose a limb. Stole from a neighbor? Now you're their slave. Caught in a lie? Well, time to carry around...
Dude, they should do that now to where you steal from somebody. You get a ball and chain attached to your ankle, and then you're stuck. That right there would get motherfuckers to quit. I'm telling you, man, if they would make prisons nowadays to where if you lost a hand for stealing, motherfuckers would quit stealing. I mean, eye for eye, basically. Yeah, it leaves the world blind, whatever. But it also would stop a lot to where there would be no eyes getting taken out, you know?
On hot burning coals for a while. All is well and good, but no punishment was as severe as the Blood Eagle. Being an execution, of course the goal is death, but...
Oh, dude, look at that. Like, the visual is just like, no. Ow.
might as well make it as agonizing as possible to really send a message like, hey, don't do bad things. This could be you. Although it was rarely performed, the Blood Eagle went...
Dude, I damn near have nightmares about that picture, much less. Imagine, you're just waltzing through the woods, way back when, or now, and you come through the woods and you see that hanging. Holy sh... I would have nightmares forever.
Went like this. The first thing you're going to want to do is have your victim laying flat on their tummy like so. Then give them a nice pat on the back to reassure them that everything is going to be absolutely terrible. Get a nice sharp knife and plunge it into the back and pull through the flesh, exposing the spine. Next, you're going to want to start breaking each one of these little ribs here. Give your chiropractor...
It truly isn't funny. It's just the way he's saying it, and it cracks me the fuck up. It does. A lot of these little cartoons like this, or whatever you want, animations, they crack me the fuck up.
...to try and just give them a nice, good crack. Oh, hear that? Yeah, that's what we're looking for. Now, just bloom those nice ribs out like a fresh flower. As a finishing touch, grab both lungs, don't worry, he won't be needing them, and rip them out so they loosely resemble wings. And there you have it, one Blood Eagle. Please subscribe.
Alright.
Oh, boy.
Y'all think this is the worst one coming up? Scaphism. Never heard of it. Have you heard of it? If so, let me know.
Boy, scaphism, also called the boats. This was by no means a pleasure cruise. Imagine you're on a nice relaxing fishing trip with your dad. You're having a good time, he's having a beer, you're getting a few nibbles here and there, he's having another beer. You're excited about what kind of fish you might catch to make your old man proud. He's on his 10th beer, and then you start to realize something. Your dad couldn't be there because your parents had a messy divorce decades ago and he didn't get any visitation rights because of his extreme alcoholism. After that, you never saw him again until you buried him. You're alone in this boat. How long's it been? Days? Must be. You look down and you see your body in ruin. Open sores with flies and rats tearing at your flesh. You're festering in your own filth, and the infection is spreading. You can't even feel it anymore. You can't feel anything anymore. Except that sun, that hot sun. Baking. Broiling. You look to the sky once more, and there, you see him. You see him again. You want to reach out, but your hands are restrained. I'm ready, you say, with all the strength you have left. Hi, Ready, he says. I'm Dad. That's kind of what it was like to experience scaphism. Even without a tragic backstory, it was a pretty painful experience. Developed by the Persians around 500 BC, a victim sentenced to the boats would be tied down facing up in a boat. Sometimes there would even be a second boat placed on top, sealing the victim's body except for their head, hands, and feet, which were tied down.
That already sounds horrible. So you can't move. They've got your leg. Like, I thought they were going to have it where you could kick or do something, you know, to try to I guess, paddle off. But anyhow, let me guess, they're going to throw mice in there or something in there.
The victim would be force-fed and covered in honey and moo juice until they vomited from their front hole and their back hole. The boat would be cast adrift in a pond and left out in the sunlight. Over time, the foul odors attracted swarms of insects and rodents that would feast on the victim for days. The victim eventually passes away from infection, blood loss, dehydration, or starvation. One account had a soldier survive 17 days before finally succumbing to his wound.
Oh, you know, especially if he wasn't even guilty. But I assume that they actually made sure he was guilty before they did that, even though I've heard a lot of stories where they just went ahead and did it. Oh well, it's him now. Man, 17 days, 2 weeks and 3 days. Oh, that would be one time I'm like, what did I do that was so right to keep me alive?
Wounds. Brutal. Okie doke, that wraps up another video. If you're into more stuff like this, you can check out brutal torture methods here, or any of my other content, really. I'll see you over there.
Alright guys, go check this man out and damn subscribe to his channel. That was pretty cool, pretty gruesome. That was rough thinking about it. Anyhow guys, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you want me to react to, and I would definitely do so. I'm planning on trying to get a little better at this whole reaction thing and eventually get a new camera. When that'll be, nobody knows. Depends on whenever I hit the magic lottery that I don't have the money to waste on trying to hit. Anyhow guys, y'all take it easy. I'll catch y'all on the next one.